Welcome to Unity of Charlotte. I am Reverend Lisa Herklotz, and I am the co-minister along with my husband, Reverend Jim Ernstsen, who you'll hear speaking shortly. We are delighted you are here to share this Sunday message with us today. At Unity of Charlotte, we have a mission statement. I invite you to read that statement with me. Unity of Charlotte is the place where we nurture a deep and mature experience of God through the practice of unity principles. Simply put, we are here to love, grow, and serve. I am here to love, grow, and serve. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Nice to have you here. We have a welcome packet, a visitor's packet that the ushers will bring to you. It has some information about us. We also invite you to stay for fellowship afterwards if you would like to get to know us better, and we would love to meet you. So thank you for being here. And if you're online and you are new and visiting for the first, second, maybe even third time, but you haven't let us know and you'd like to receive some information, put your name in the chat and contact information, and we'll send a visitor's packet to you too. We want to let you know that we have many different ways to find out about Unity of Charlotte now. We have information you can check out on our website. We have a newsletter that goes out through MailChimp. You can browse our Facebook page, and we have our Sunday services recorded and loaded up on YouTube if you ever want to go back and watch any of them. We're also getting better at posting things that we don't get to announce on the Sunday service on the bulletin board in the back, right outside of the doors of the sanctuary. So if you're wondering what's going on and you want to get engaged, go check out the bulletin board too. Now let's take a moment to move into prayer. I invite you to just gently close your eyes. Take a gentle breath in if that helps you center. As we move our focus and our attention into our heart center, and we join together in the power of prayer, centering in that deep place within where our own awareness of our divinity resides. As we connect to our own divinity, we begin to recognize what it really means to see God in everyone. It's like a light, a flame that ignites within our heart and expands out to include everyone and everything. This is our spiritual journey, our spiritual quest to remember and step into and express this oneness. In the name and power of that Christ light within, we claim it to be so, and so it is. Amen. Now, if you would stay with me, our unity prayer of oneness. There is one presence and one power in my life and universe. God, the good, omnipotence. And now I'd like to open up for a moment of silence, opening this space to allow you a chance to speak the name of a person or a situation you are holding in prayer or would like to lift in prayer. Please speak that name now. And we know, even as we give voice to this name, this person, this situation, that the Holy Spirit is living, breathing, moving, and expressing in that situation to bring about its highest good. And so it is. We want to let you know that we have a prayer team active here at Unity of Charlotte. So we are accepting prayer requests. We have a prayer box here. You can fill out a form. The prayer team will pick that up. There's also a prayer request form on our website and also a link, I believe, from our newsletter. So please know if you want to be held in prayer or have a situation to be held in prayer, we are here for you. Please fill out a prayer request form and the prayer team will be on it. And now I'd like to invite up Barbara and Fred to read our daily word.
Daily word for Sunday, February 25th, 24. I carry my faith in God with me throughout the day. I keep my faith at the forefront of my awareness, taking a few minutes in the morning to pause, breathe deeply, and place my awareness on the presence of God. I feel energized and strengthened. I expect all good things.
¿Qué pasa? Domingo, fe. Llevo mi fe en Dios conmigo durante todo el día. Doy prioridad a mi fe dedicando un tiempo cada mañana o reflexionar, respirar profundamente y centrar mi conciencia en la presencia de Dios. Me siento renovado y fortalecido y anticipo lo mejor.
As the day progresses, I pause again for a moment or two and affirm, God and I are one. I have faith that God, my source, is with me in everything I think, say, and do.
El español no tiene palabras aquí. Conforme el día transcurre, hago un pausa para afirmar. Dios y somos uno. Tengo fe en que Dios, mi fuente, está conmigo en todo lo que pienso, digo y hago. En la noche recuerdo los eventos del día y atesore los momentos en los que sentí con más fuerza la presencia de Dios.
Sí. At night, I look back on the events of the day and savor the moments in which God's presence felt especially strong. I have faith that awakening from a restful night's sleep, hearing a kind remark, enjoying time in nature, or spending quality time with a loved one are ways to feel the presence of God within and around me.
En la noche recuerdo los eventos del día y atesoro los momentos en los que sentí con más fuerza de la presencia de Dios. Otra vez, ¿ok? Tengo la certeza de que al despertar tras a sueño reparador, al escuchar palabras amables, al disfrutar de la naturaleza o al compartir momentos especiales con seres queridos, experimento la presencia de Dios y a mi alrededor.
And they shall stand every morning, thanking and praising the Lord, and likewise at evening. 1 Chronicles 23:30.
El escritor, y para asistir todos los días por la mañana y por la tarde, para de dar gracias y tributar alabanzas al Señor. 1 Crónicas 23 y 30.
Everything you go through grows you. I absolutely believe that. Absolutely believe that. My name is Reverend Jim Ernstsen. We are going to speak to celebrating Black History Month within the Unity Movement. And today we are going to honor Reverend Dr. Jonnie Coleman. Reverend Jonnie Coleman is a pioneering pioneering person, pioneering figure within the unity movement. She dedicated her life to spiritual leadership, education, and empowerment. And that's what we're going to talk today about, is that specific about empowerment. She spoke to the idea of every single person within her ministry, and we're going to talk about all those ministries that she started during her lifetime, where each and every person she empowered. She taught and focused and underlined that your life doesn't just happen to you, but that you are empowered to create within your own lifetime. She was born in Mississippi. She taught school. She founded major churches in the Chicago area. In 1956, Dr. Coleman founded Christ Unity Temple, one of the largest unity churches of the time. She later expanded that church and changed the name to Christ Universal Temple. In 1974, she established the Organization of New Thought Churches, and that was called the Universal Foundation for Better Living. Jonnie Coleman also created 2 institutions of higher learning. Those were the Jonnie Coleman Institute and the Jonnie Coleman Academy. She was never one to let I don't know, what do you call that, moss grow under her feet, because she was busy in the secular world as well. She served as director to the Port Authority in Chicago, as well as serving on many other boards in the Chicago area. So she was a go-getter, let's just say that, in the Chicago area. She taught that teaching people how to live better lives was what we should actually focus on. For her, it was not theoretical in any way. A lot of times for us, when we get together for pub theology, it is. We speak to the esoteric theologies of the day. Who is God? What is God? How does that apply to our lives? But for her, it was always about how to live a better life for each individual that she spoke to from the pulpit and lived with as well within her congregation. For me, I talk about that in using different words, but for me, it's practical Christianity. Those are the words that I use. To be able to teach unity principles, but how do I put those into practice on a daily life? So I would use different words, practical Christianity. She's teaching people how to live better lives. She's quoted many times as saying, change your thoughts, change your life. And she probably taught that hundreds of times over the course of her ministry before she retired. Change your thoughts, change your life. Reverend Coleman taught a blend of traditional Christian principles as well as the metaphysical concepts that she learned at the village when she was ordained a unity minister. So she kind of combined things herself and gave it a flavor of Reverend Jonnie Coleman, emphasizing the power of the mind to realize personal success and prosperity within the world. That's what she was after. And I sat with that this week and wondered, what affirmation could I create that she would approve of in terms of what I'm going to carry with me throughout this next week. And I encourage you to take it with you as well. And I sat there and I thought, my affirmation for this week will be, I live an inspired life centered in divine power. I am empowered. Say that last sentence with me. I am empowered. Again, I am empowered. Things don't just happen to us, Reverend Coleman would say. We are empowered to live a blessed and divine life. That was her message of empowerment. Individually, we are empowered. Today, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about where that power comes from and what that power actually is. So let's jump right into where the power actually comes from. We have principles, 5 basic principles within the unity movement. That first principle is God is, right? We talk about what the attributes of God is within our lives. God is good. God is omnipotent. God is omnipotence itself, ever present. But what we're going to focus on is the second. So that's our understanding of God. But how does that apply to us? The second basic principle is, well, we had God is. The second principle is I am, right? God is, I am. I am is our shortened version. For me, I think of it as I am created in the image and likeness of God. So we've established what God is. I am nothing less than that. Does that sound blasphemous to anybody? I'm seeing no's, and it shouldn't. I am divine. You are divine. We inherit all those attributes of divinity from our Creator. Do we always live those? That's our dirty little secret. No, we don't always live up to our full potential of divinity, but we were created in the image and likeness of that perfect divine image. Charles Fillmore included within this idea of who we are in terms of our divinity, as well as focusing. So if we consider that idea of divinity as an umbrella, he wanted to teach to the pieces of that divinity. Charles Fillmore wanted to say, well, yes, we are divine. Yes, we are created in the image and likeness of God, but maybe we can get down to some more details just to make it easier for us to understand. He created those 12 powers of man, 12 powers of mankind. It's in a book. He taught to it. He spoke to it. One of those 12 powers is power itself. We've got love, we've got faith, we've got understanding, we've got imagination, but power is what we're talking about today. Power is a divine attribute that we see in our image of God, right? All powerful. Ipso facto. Is that Latin? We are powerful as well. You see how that works? Jonnie Coleman would say, we are imbued, we are empowered. That empowerment is ours as well. So let's do this. I invite you just a couple minutes, a quick exercise here of us moving into that idea of empowerment. I invite you to close your eyes again, just for 2 minutes as we move through this exercise. Close your eyes, listen to my voice, and open your mind and your heart to these words that I speak. Open yourself up to a broad expanse of the universe, the greatness of the universe, with no limitations. And then I invite you to imagine the idea that you have been given a task. And this task is to create something beautiful in the universe. Now, each one of us is going to select something different to create. And you're given everything that you need to create this thing. There is nothing missing. You didn't earn this right. You didn't have to ask for it. But you have the power to create anything you want. And if you have to just imagine that, if this is just a what if, that's okay as well. I'm going to pretend to create this thing. It could be small, it can be big, but it's pure, it's good, it's perfect. It can be a song, it can be a painting, it can be a garden, a dance, a bookcase that you create out of wood. It can be as big as a new galaxy with brilliant stars. It can be a new world that you've created filled with beauty. Think of this thing, and it is created, perfectly formed, no flaws whatsoever, everything working together just as it should. And you might say that it was maybe even beyond your wildest dreams, but of course it wasn't. It was a divine creation, and it was good. And you can open your eyes now. So leaving that creation for just a second, because this exercise isn't about the thing that you created in your mind, this imagination that you had. It's not about the thing, but I'd like you to take a moment to see how you feel, or remember how you felt in the middle of that exercise. How did your heart feel as you were creating? How did your gut feel, maybe even, as you noticed this perfection that you were putting together, those pieces that you were putting together? And staying with that feeling of that creation for a moment, what were those creative juices that came up for you? Hopefully it was a positive experience. But how did you feel? Not what it was. How did you feel? Was there love present when you imagined this masterpiece that you were creating? Was there a sense of power as you imagined yourself creating this thing? Power is our, and let me just say that when I did this exercise for myself, I felt what Reverend Lisa spoke to last week. I felt a vibrational quality that lifted me into this power as I moved through that. And again, it didn't matter what it was, but I was getting in touch with that empowerment idea. And I felt confident. I felt like I could. And that's where we're touching the divine. That's where we're realizing who and what we really are. This is where we're moving into that higher frequency. Power is the ability to build consciousness. So again, it's not about the thing itself. It's about the raising of our consciousness in that moment. We met this last week in our board meeting, and we talked about all the things that we want to get done. We talked about all the finances of the church. We talked about things, right? But then we also mentioned to each and every board member, to the ministers as well, It's about our consciousness that we bring to this process as leaders. It's about that vibrational quality, our realization of that empowerment and that vibration, what we call consciousness. Consciousness. We do this, and this is where we get back to Reverend Dr. Jonnie Coleman. We do this by choosing our thoughts. This is what Jonnie Coleman came back to over and over and over again. You can go out there on YouTube and you can listen to a random sermon that she would have given at Christ Unity Temple in Chicago. And I want to say the odds are likely you're going to hear her say this, that we do this empowered creative process by choosing our thoughts. She said this over and over again. This is a truth within unity. This is our third basic principle, thoughts held in mind. We do this by choosing our thoughts, thus transforming energy from one plane of consciousness to another. Transforming energy. We are nothing in this world, this physical world. So I'm shifting from spiritual to physical. We are nothing in this physical world other than energy, right? This is quantum physics. And I'm the last one to teach quantum physics because I got a D in physics in school. Okay, but quantum physics is about the energy of this world, the vibration of this world. Our energy. That's what she's teaching here. We are, by those thoughts that we hold in mind, we are bringing energy into our world. And that's the transformative piece of our life. We are transforming our lives through that divine concept of empowerment. Quick, and do this 12 times every day. On the hour is what I try and do. What am I thinking? Tomorrow at 9 a.m., at 10 a.m., at 11 a.m., set your watch, set your Apple Watch, set your phone to beep once an hour. When it beeps, what am I thinking? It's a great exercise. It is a personal, how can I say this? It's just such a personal thing to realize how you go through your day. Am I stuck in a rut? 11 a.m. Beep, 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 beep. What am I thinking? And if you're in a trench, know that you can change your thoughts, is what Jonnie Coleman would say. Know that you can change your thoughts. Thus transforming energy from one plane of consciousness to another. Changing our thoughts. We are, and I almost hate to use the idea of raising vibration, but we can use those words if we want to. Raising the vibration of our consciousness is so higher, lower, sometimes gets kind of confusing. But we are moving up into a higher level, a higher vibrational quality by the thoughts that we hold in mind. And tell you the truth, I forgot what my next slide was. So I'm going to go back there. What is power, actually? The power of the universe expresses through each and every one of us. The power of the universe expresses. That's why we're individual. That's why we exist in this earthly plane, because we are individual and the universe expresses through us, as us. And we can say that about God. If you want to utilize the word God, if you want to utilize the word the universe, it doesn't matter. The universe expresses through us. Power is that energy and vibration that expresses effortlessly through us. We don't have to struggle with this. Those thoughts that we're holding in mind express through us. Think about something that you love. Think about something. Here's another practical thing to do. Think about something you love to do, and it can be anything. It can be really simple. I don't know, you love to do the crossword puzzle in the morning. I don't know. You love to take a walk in nature. Imagine doing that thing. Imagine doing something that you love. How does that make you feel? Is it effortless? Does it just happen? You look forward to it? Yes, I would say. Yes, absolutely. There's a power that you give to life for those things that you love. Those things that you love, it's easy to give power to. It's easy for those things to come up in your life. It's easy for you to recognize those things. What if we were able to do that every minute of the day? To bring that same power, that power that Jonnie Coleman talked about as empowerment in our lives to everything. And we can recognize things, the point that she kept coming back to, things don't just happen to us. We have those thoughts, we empower our feelings, and we create this world from that plane of consciousness. She would say that you have mastery over these things. She would use that word. You have mastery over these things. And you align yourself with the divine and you give it power. You have dominion over the task, over that creative power. Power flows through me with ease and grace, she is heard to teach over and over again. Now, when I'm judging, when I'm angry at my neighbor, when I feel like I need to be in control of something, when something's not happening the way I want it to and my gut is tied up in a knot, when I take offense from somebody else, I am no longer in my power. You see how that works? I've diverted out of that energy flow, that consciousness that this quote talks about. It's when I come back into love and empowerment that it works. If I've taken offense, if I'm angry, all those things stifle that flow. It diminishes what we're all about. But when I'm in the flow of the universe, I'm aligned with my neighbor. I'm in love with my family. Things flow. Things flow, and that power, again, flows with ease. I experience grace and an elevation of vibration that we've talked about. I am one, as the Buddhists would say, I am one with all there is. One last time, our affirmation. I live an inspired life centered in divine power. I am empowered. So today we talked about the idea that we have inherited this power from our divine source. We've talked about that power itself as that energy and vibration that flows through us, and that when we're in divine flow, it happens with grace and ease. Know that I love you, I bless you. I see the Christ, I see that divine power within each and every one of you here. And those of you on Zoom as well. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Jim. And before I move into our offertory, I am remembering that there was something we forgot to mention, because things happen so fast here. Next Sunday is also going to be our board installation ceremony during the service. We just decided this on Friday when we had our first board meeting with our new board members. And this is a very important ceremony. And this was the date we came up with when everyone could be there. So I did want to put a shout out that we're going to be doing during the Sunday service, our board installation ceremony, along with the potluck and our volunteer appreciation. It's just going to be a big day of gratitude. So I hope you'll be here. And now we're going to move into our offertory time. This is when we remember that we are living abundance, and abundance is circulation, because as we give, so do we receive. And it is through your generous giving that Unity of Charlotte is able to continue to be a presence in this community and for you. Please, there's many ways to give consistently. We have donate buttons, text and give, QRC, bill pay. You've seen all this before. Just know, find a way that works for you, but consistent giving really helps us as a community to be able to budget and move forward with plans. And now, if you would join me in our offertory blessing as you hold your gift in your hand or in your heart. Joyously, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.